So today's video you're going to find valuable whether you're a coach, an agency, maybe a software company. If you have to get people on calls to sell them your service, this video is for you, because in today's video I want to show you how you can eliminate no-shows from your calendar and get a show-up rate of at least 90% or above, and add a step to your sales process between the time you book a prospect on a call and the time you take that actual call. You probably know that feeling when you're sitting behind your laptop, you're ready to take people on a call, and then you're sitting there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then no one shows up. So with today's video, the goal is to eliminate that feeling almost for good for you, or even for good, and again, give you a system that you can implement so at least 9 out of 10 prospects show up to sales calls or discovery calls with you. So today I want to talk about how you can eliminate no-shows from your calendar almost entirely. Now, it depends on your market how many no-shows you actually get, because some markets there's going to be less no-show. Some markets are going to have no-show rates from 30 to 50%, so maybe only half of your calls really show up, or maybe only 70% of your calls really show up. And before I cover anything, I just want to clarify that I'm not going to tell you to send more follow-ups or send some crazy follow-up sequence or some new follow-up sequence, because it's not about follow-ups. The reason people don't show up to your calls is actually way less complex, and that reason is that they can't resonate with your proposition and they don't see enough value in you or whatever you're offering for that call, or whatever you're trying to offer, to show up to that call. So they literally don't see enough value in speaking. Well, let's say that your no-show, the person who didn't show up to your call, had a call scheduled with Elon Musk. Of course they would show up to that call because they see the value proposition in talking with Elon Musk a lot higher than they see the value proposition in talking with you. And they would probably even be on that call an hour in advance, because they will feel guilty to not be on that call and have that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to speak with Elon Musk. Now, the argument can be made that Elon has 1,000 times more authority than me, so the prospect will feel like they can gain a lot more from it, and it would be a call of their life. So basically, that is the solution. Before that call, you need to build up enough authority and trust with the prospect by proving yourself valuable to literally make them feel guilty not to show up to your build authority. You need to have an optimal sales process that is optimized for 2023 and is basically relevant to the current time period. And that sales process is the 6 micro commitment sales process. Today specifically, we're going to focus on the 4th micro commitment, which is the main reinforcement of a 90% show-up rate, and I will brief through all of these other micro commitments so that it just makes sense. But if you want a more in-depth run-through of this whole sales process, I can send you a separate video or a guide. Just DM me about it and I will send it to you. So micro commitment 1 happens when you actually open the conversation. So you engage your prospect with a knowledge gap, with some surprising information to get past their reactive brain and get to their logical brain, so you can actually start a conversation without getting ghosted or without spooking them. Micro commitment 2 happens when you leverage the knowledge in a form of a sales asset. So this could be a PDF, a video, a flowchart, coaching call recording. With micro commitment 2, you build authority and a lot of rapport with a prospect by sending them a resource that will resonate with them, by helping them overcome a problem that they're facing in your market, right? A specific problem, so that your resource resonates with solving that problem. This is where 20% of that trust and authority starts getting built up, that aids in increasing the show-up rates. While it is a crucial step in the sales process as a whole today, I presume that you already booked the person on a call and you just need to make sure that the person shows up. So we're not going to cover micro commitment 2. Again, we're going to micro commitment 4. Now, before we go to micro commitment 4, micro commitment 3 is the CTA. So this happens when the prospect books a session or a call with you. Now, micro commitment 4 is the biggest reason for a low show-up rate. It's basically responsible for 80% of the sales process when it comes to getting people onto your calls. 4 is homework. And the reason people don't show up to your call is because you don't provide them with enough homework before the call. And this creates no obligation for them to actually commit to that call, and as a result, they just don't show up. So no homework, no 90% show-up rate. Now you might be puzzled, so let me explain what actually homework is. They have some trust and faith in your authority and your value, because they believe that 15 to 30 minute time investment is worth it for them on that call because of all the pre-framing before getting them onto that call. Whether they booked the call from an automated sales process or you booked them manually onto the call, you had to pre-frame and make them believe that that 15 to 30 minute time investment is worth it for them. But the thing is, there's usually a period of 1 to 7 days before the prospect actually gets on that call with you. That value gets reinforced in the prospect's brain. With every day that passes between the booking and your call pre-framing, so from the time you book them on a call to the time that you speak with them on that sales call, the pre-framing and the value you've sent them when booking them on a call loses its power in the prospect's head because the connection becomes weaker and weaker. So you might have actually experienced this. If you ever were pitched on a webinar or got triaged on a discovery session and then booked a sales call for a few days after that, maybe it was 3, 4, 5 days, maybe even 2 days after the original point of contact. The day of that discovery call or that webinar, you might have been energetic about the offer you're getting sold. You might have had full conviction in it. And then as the days passed, you probably started losing just a bit of belief in that offer. You started getting some thoughts in your head, maybe this is not for me, maybe it's not going to work for me, and you basically started having those limiting beliefs. And that's the same thing that happens with your prospects when you book them on a call. That doubt builds up as the days pass between you booking them and them getting on the sale. To fix this, we need to reinforce the fact that we are actually trying to be valuable to them and to help them on your sales call. So instead of sending them multiple follow-ups and telling them to get on the call or reminding them, your sales call is on Wednesday, please remember to come to the sales call, or any of those follow-ups can actually have an adverse effect on the prospect, because they can make prospects feel like you're just trying to get them on the call no matter what, to basically sell something or push something in their face. Instead of that, you need to send them homework in the form of a sales asset, which will prepare them for the call with you or help them understand your processes or the solutions you have for their specific problem a little bit better before that sales. And again, the sales asset could be a PDF, a video, coaching call recording, flowchart, whatever applies to your offer. Then once the sales asset is sent, you create an obligation for them to go through before that call happens and how many ever days they're scheduled ahead for it. You're going to be following up with them, and instead of saying this right here, you're going to be, did you find any time to check out the video I've sent? It should definitely help you understand XYZ solution. If you have any questions about it, drop them in the chat and I'll make sure to cover them during our session on Wednesday. This is a value proposition that keeps reinforcing. They have homework to do between your booking and their call on Wednesday or whatever day the call is scheduled for. And they see that you're very keen on getting them to actually do that homework because it's valuable to them. So this shifts the whole dynamic from asking them to get on a call to asking them to help themselves by watching a valuable resource that's aimed to help them overcome their challenge. Even because of this, they stop seeing you as someone who's just trying to sell them or push them something on that call, and instead they see you as someone whose main priority is to help them overcome that challenge or find a solution to their problems at every single stage of this sales process. The reason this works right now, and the reason you need to do this in 2023, is because every market is extremely hyper aware. Basically, if it's not hyper aware, it's pretty aware. So if you're just doing these follow-ups about, maybe if you even automated your follow-up and they don't have zero human touch in them, you send them people zero homework and there's zero value in those follow-ups before they get on a call, people can get spooked by those. And with homework, they take another micro commitment to consume you even more before the call. Basically makes it unreasonable for them not to show up to your call. This process ensures that the nurturing process between booking the call is based on value. So I wanted to share a simple homework-based accountability framework that you can use and implement into your follow-ups to make sure your show-up rates go up. So 24 hours or several hours before the call, here's going to be your tie down. So assuming you sent a resource or a sales asset, you're going to say, hey name, did you have a chance to go through the resource yet? Whatever that resource is called, maybe it's a lead magnet, giving out some steps, so the name of the lead magnet. If so, what is your biggest takeaway? I always welcome all and any feedback. Then after you send this message, you're going to say, if you haven't gone through it, please do so before a call. It will help you be best prepared and get the maximum value out of our chat on Thursday. Speak soon, bro. 30 minutes before that call, you're going to say, hey name, looking forward to our chat in about 30 minutes. Speak soon, my friend. And this 30-minute follow-up, this is not going to spook them, but if you're doing these follow-ups where you're just reminding them about the call, maybe 72 hours before the call, 48 hours before the call, 24 hours before the call, that gets pretty annoying, and that sounds a little bit fishy because again, they're like, is this guy just really trying to push me on that call to sell me something? With this framework, if someone is trying to back out of the call, you can use this, but before that, you need to keep in mind that you need to understand why people don't want to get on a call with you or why they're trying to back out, and set the expectations of what will be discussed. So for example, okay, is there any particular reason why you don't want to have a call? Is there another way I can check in? Then you're going to say, I understand that you're used to people selling you right away, but I generally want this to work out for you. If not by call, then that's all good. So again, the whole follow-up sequence is based on a value proposition and the fact that you're generally trying to help people and not just get them on a call to convert them and take them. This framework is crucial as we move forward into a more and more aware. No matter what niche you're in, customers are getting used to the selling patterns in the markets and they understand what sales calls are now. It's not 2018, it's not 2019. So people are getting used to this and they're becoming more and more skeptical of these calls. Now you can also pair this with Calendly reminders to have a better. So with this, you'll literally make it unreasonable for yourself to not get a show up rate above 90%. If you also add these Calendly, SMS, and email reminders, so you can try the Calendly flows like this. Email reminder 1 will be 24 or 48 hours before. Email reminder 2, I put a 1 here, this is supposed to be a 2, will be 12 to 8 hours before the call, and then the SMS reminder 1 will be 12 or 8 hours before that, along with email reminder 2, and then the last SMS reminder will be 15 minutes before the call to make sure the people don't forget and they show up. Now, if you want to implement the system on your own, but you have any questions about it, just shoot me a DM and I will guide you through any questions you have. If you want us to automate 95% of your acquisition process while increasing your customer lifetime value, stepping out of the competitive segment of your market and helping you tap into a new, less aware pocket of the market, increasing your closing rate to a minimum of 30 to 40%, providing you with pre-triaged and hyper-qualified sales calls, 90% show-up rates, and getting a lower cost per acquisition or customer acquisition cost than it costs to fill up your gap. A process like this is of any interest to you, send me a DM and we can book a strictly no sales pitch demo session for me or someone from my team to help you build out your own custom client attraction roadmap. In the worst case scenario, you'll get a free game plan to automate 95% of your client acquisition process while adding $30K per month in profits by leveraging a sales ecosystem. And in the best case scenario, we will get to implement this system A to Z for you.